Okay, so first we are seeing this program. Write the program to validate the traffic signal. And if you see here, I said clearly that what are the things we need to validate. If the color is red, then output should be stop the vehicle or don't move forward, something like that. So in same sense, what we'll do, we basically declare let color equal to, we'll take something called red. Now we have got
Robin,
the color.
little bit zoom it that front style. No?
Is, is it fine now?
Okay, okay.
Okay. So let color equal to red. So we are declaring a color variable here in the string format. Now what is next thing we have to do? We have to compare. We have to use the if else statement. So it should be if, and then there is a condition. We know from the syntax that inside the if bracket, there should be a condition. And what is the condition we have to check? We have to check something like color, if color explicitly equal to red, and then use the if block will of code will start from here. We'll say console.log, and I'll say probably stop the vehicle. This is one case. Now what will be the other case? Here we'll also have else if. Why? Because apart from red, there are other two colors also. It can be green, it can be yellow, it can be some other color as well, invalid color. So in traffic signal, there is three different color that is mandatory. One is red, one is yellow, and one is green. It means that we'll have at least three if statement for each color. So first we have written if color equal to red. So when color is red, what should be the output? The vehicle should stop. The second one again. Now, okay, we wrote if. What if here we are saying red color equal to red? Assume that I'm giving the color as yellow here. Okay. Now, if I write the first if statement saying color equal to red, then we know that when this particular condition is true, then only this block of code will get executed. If this is not getting executed, then it will go to the else statement. So first one we are validating with the color as red. Now there is another color as well, green and yellow. So it will go to the else statement. Inside the else, inside the else, there is another if condition we need to write. And what we'll say? We'll say again same thing, color equal to, we'll say yellow. And if it is true, then we'll say console.log. What should be the yellow value? Vehicle. Vehicle should be ready to move. Okay. Now there is one more color which is green. So here it can also come as if, else if color equal to green, and then I'll say console.log. What should be the output? Vehicle should be vehicle should start moving. Okay. Now what happened? We have given if, there will be else. So we can say apart from these three colors, red, yellow, and green. Apart from these three colors, if there is any other color, then execute this else block of code saying console.log, not not a valid color. Now let's execute this one. It's a node if else.js. See, not a valid color. No, it should be okay. Here the text is different, small y. Okay. See, vehicle should be ready to move, which is yellow. This one. Now if I change it to, let's say red, stop the vehicle. If I say green, it will say vehicle should start moving. If I say blue, then blue is, there is nothing blue color. This is outside the if statement. There's no condition to validate the blue. So what will happen in this case? It will say vehicle not a valid color, not a valid color. This is simple. This is what we have seen in the Friday session. If else statement, similar thing, whatever we did here, same thing we have to write it down. Now you can compare Sanjeev and Srilata. Like what was the actual mistake you were doing why the output was not getting printed?
Yeah, I written same, but whenever I executing, no, first condition that color equals to red, right? So I'm getting that error. Color is not defined like that. Reference error.
Okay, have you given in
Okay,
this way,
fine.
let color equal to blue? Check the code once, compare it.
Okay.
I'll just keep it like that for 1 minute. You can see what mistake you have done, and if you want to share, you can share your screen as well.
Yeah, Robin, I have pasted one code. Can you check this code?
Yeah, actually, what happened? No, that color. One I kept that caps. See, that's why I couldn't print. Now I can able to print.
What did you do?
In the if condition that I mean I declare the C as capital.
Okay, and
Cap C.
here you have given the small.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did
Okay,
that.
okay, and so Sanjeev, is your second not working?
Second means if you're changing the color, that is which will work. Okay, first line, let the traffic signal. Okay,
Yes, that's
but
what
if
it
you're
is,
not,
right?
yeah, that's why. Every time changing, I'm thinking
No, no,
not to change this.
automatic will not happen because
Yeah,
for automatic purpose we have to provide some output, provide some input.
output. Yeah,
Um,
that's
saying this color, it will say type the color, but that is again taking the data from keyboard is not our task. It is something that
true.
developer will do. Okay, so the next one, this is what you have written, right?
Yeah,
And what is the issue happening here?
same thing, same thing. You can print in first one, okay. Second one not print. Then you need to change everything every time. I think so.
Yeah, that is how it is.
Okay,
It will not print
understood.
everything.
Hmm.
So basically what will happen is if you give any data,
Hmm.
so if I provide what if you take the example of username and password login scenario,
Hmm.
what you'll do, you'll not check all the validation, right? All
Okay.
the four validation you'll not check. You'll give the correct username, correct
Hmm.
password, and you'll click on the login button. Same thing happens here. When you give 85,
Then you
you
will
have
check the
written
first. Hmm.
you have
Yeah.
written the logic here.
Hmm.
Based on 85 logic, it will print the value. If you give 45,
Then
then based on 45, it should print the logic, print the console result, whatever it is.
yeah,
Okay.
Robbie, understood, understood. Yeah.
So any other question? Gaurav, Latashri, I think you people were able to write this program as well.
Yes, I written same, but while doing no, I get one small doubt, Robin. So
Okay.
suppose let student marks equals to we declare 45, right?
Yes.
Like that. Okay, so in the condition, no 80 directly we are declaring the if condition. So I thought like we need to declare any another variable like let equals to student marks 180. Like that I face some one small issue, but later I directly I declare on the if condition, like if else condition that greater than that 80.
That's okay. You may think in different way. Thinking will be always different. You can think, you can try to play around with these particular things, like you can declare the student marks equal to 45, student marks 2 equal to 85 in that way. But at the end, the actual thing is what your output is coming. If it is coming correctly, that should be fine.
Oh,
So it can be written in different way also. It's not like a single way of writing. If you go across further down the topic, we'll see these program can also be written using function, and there we'll have the less line of code using function. So we'll see how that is written when we understand the function. But in general, this is how we'll write. Why we'll declare the hard-coded value here? Because we are not developing any input validation. We are not developing the framework, or we are not developing the web page where we have to provide the value, different value. It's like we are validating the value. There will be a page where there is a phone number. What you will do, you will provide the phone number. It is not like you will provide 100 different phone number. You'll provide some phone number to validate that. So inside the automation, we'll do the same thing, right? We'll write one test case and we'll provide the automation phone number field. Inside the phone number field, we'll provide the phone number detail, and that phone number it will accept. And based on that, we'll write the logic, what is happening there. It will not be like I gave my phone number, then I'll start giving your 4 people phone number, then someone else phone number to validate if everything is working fine or not. It's one scenario. If it is working, it is working. Okay, all right. So this was the 2 things I gave yesterday, and good to see that you at least tried, and you know the error, what was the reason why it was not working. Any other question? Gaurav, you had yesterday your one question. I think I explained you why we are using if somewhere you ask me. Okay. Anything else before we move to the next topic? You all are okay with the if statement, right? Okay, so just the basic thing to understand is if is nothing but there will be a if statement, if loop. It will have the condition, and inside the condition, the code will be written inside the if block of code. If block of code will get executed only when the condition is true. If the condition is false, then else block of code will get executed. That's all about the if else. Now we'll go to the new topic, which is switch.js. Now, before we understand a little bit on the switching part, so just think in this way. So far, what we have seen if else statement, and what basically we are doing whenever we are getting the if else, like we have to compare the multiple value, we are writing the if else value there. We are saying if, then condition, then again we are giving some value like condition to be validated, and once the condition is true, we are moving inside the else browser, else value. That's what we are doing so far. Now assume there are something called if I'll take the traffic example as well, but let's assume that there is a days in a week. Monday to Friday we have days. Now we have what we say month of a year, January to December. We have traffic signal condition like we have seen there. We have red, green, and yellow, and then we have lot many other things. So if I say fruits, and if I give n number of fruits detail, and my condition should be print the value when it is matching the particular fruits. So if I take the example of Monday to Sunday, so I'll say validate the scenario whenever you see that text is matching as a Thursday, print the value, and after that don't move forward. Now if I have to do the same statement with if else, what I will do, I will write let me go back to the if else here. Okay, see, if I have to do the similar scenario in this case, what I'll be doing basically here, I will say color equal to blue, then I'll write 3 different if condition. If color equal to red, console.log, then else if color equal to yellow, console.log, else if color equal to green, console.log, and then else this one. So I have to write multiple if else statement to validate this. So this is only for the 3 color. Let's assume that if I have to write for the month of a year, Jan to December, and then I have to validate December. For example, if I say here I'll say December, Then I have to validate the I have to say similar things like when color or month equal to December, print this value. How many if else we have to write? We have to write 12 different if else to validate that particular uh, to validate that particular month of the year, saying that okay, this month is matching, then print this one. Now to overcome that, to overcome this big lines of if else statement, switch introduced and switch came into picture. Switch is nothing but it's a similar to the if else statement, but there is a little bit different in the syntactical value. The switch statement basically evaluates the expression. What is expression? I'll write it down. Switch evaluates the expression once, only once, and then compare the value with multiple cases. Now remember this, I wrote cases here because we'll see the syntax how it is happening. So for switch, the syntax is, I'll explain you, don't worry if you're not understanding anything. You'll understand when I start writing the code. Syntax of switch should be okay. So it should start in this way. Name same, it should be same switch, like how we have seen for if, it should be switch. And then I said expression, evaluates the expression once and then compare the value with multiple cases. So I said expression, and what is expression here? We'll see in later, but for now, just understand there is expression, this one. And then there is a block of code. And inside the block of code, we'll have in this way, case value 1 colon. Then you write the code here, code to be executed. And if it is fine, we'll say break. And then again, case value 2 here, code to be executed, break. You'll understand what is break. Don't worry, I'm just writing the syntax so that I'll explain you again. This one here, I'll say code to be executed, and then here I'll write break. And then at last, we have all the cases value. If you look at this, okay, let me write it here. There is something called default. We'll say default, and then for default also, code to be executed, and then the bracket is closed. Now, if you look at this particular code, if you look at clearly, okay, are you able to see multiple screen now? Multiple codes here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So take a look at these two details here. What I said, syntax of switch is nothing but switch expression. If you look at the syntax of if else, what I have written earlier on the top, if condition or expression or condition are same thing. I write it down here also. If expression or condition, here same thing, switch expression or condition, case value 1, code to be evaluated, and then break. So inside this switch block of code, this is complete switch block of code. There are multiple case we are doing. What is case? We are validating the multiple things. How we have done here inside the this particular code, we said there is a color, and then we compared the color with the red value. When we compared with the red value, if it is returning true, then we executed this particular block of code. But if it is returning false, again we are writing if to validate that. If it is true, then this will return. Again, if it is false, then we have to write one more line of code in order to execute this one. Again, if it is true, if it is false, then we have to write one more again. If it goes true, then it goes inside this particular block of code. And finally, at last, it will come up with the else statement and it will print the value. Same thing we are writing, same whatever we have inside the right hand side here, that expression, this can also be written using switch. And if I have these kind of scenarios where I have to give one value and compare with multiple if else statement, then I will think of using switch as a default looping concept here, because switch give a little bit extra weightage when compared to if else, and we don't have to write this many lines of if else statement. We'll see it here how I'm writing, and then you'll be able to see the comparison. So same way, whatever we have done here, we'll do it here as well. We'll say let color equal to, and write same whatever we wrote here, blue. Now see what basically here we are doing. We said syntax of switch is switch expression. I'll say switch. Inside the expression, whatever the variable you have declared, that variable will go. We have declared the variable because we have to compare with this value. We do not have the condition to validate there, like if it is greater than this one or that one. We have to compare with this particular value. So switch usually comes into picture when you have multiple things to verify. For example, I say Monday to Friday, and you have to validate on the Thursday. If you want to validate that, usually you have to write 4 different if. If I have to validate the month of a year, 12 different if statement I have to write. To overcome that particular issue, switch came into picture. So I will say here color. Now you know that after color there should be if color, this switch block of code. This is a switch block of code. Here we'll say case. We can see this is case. Case is the always same way we have to write. There is no change. Case, if it is case, it is case. So we'll say case. Case. And what is first case we have? We need to validate different color, right? If you have to validate different month, then we'll say month. If you have to, we'll see that as well. So if you have to validate color, and what I'll say, case 1 is what we have given here, red color. I'll give red. Red. And what should be my console.log? What should happen? Stop the vehicle. If it is true, then break. The second case, what is second case? It should be, we have given yellow. If you don't understand this, take a look at the right side here. Whatever we have written here, I'm just writing the same thing. You can see the differences. Same program I'm writing in the left hand side also. Case yellow, I'll say console.log. I'll say ready to move. And then if it is correct, then break. We'll understand what is break. Then we have third case, which is green. I'll say console.log. Here I'll say start moving. Look what happened, why it is throwing an error because of this. Okay, now we have case green, and then we have default. With the bracket, default console.log. Invalid color. Okay, now if you see in the right hand side and the left hand side, compare these two things. One is this one, one is this one. One is line number 177 to 187, and then line number 23 to 37. Both are same thing. Both are doing the same validation. What basically both are doing, when we are saying that there is a particular color of the traffic, then use that color and validate the result what it is coming. Use that color and validate the result. So what we are seeing, initially we are saying there is a color called blue. Same thing we are seeing here. Then we are using the n number of if statement here. If I have to validate the same scenario for month of the year, then I have to write 12 different if else statement. Right? So for that logic, to overcome that, switch came into picture, and this is what the switch is doing. Inside the switch, there is an expression called color. What is color here? Color is nothing but the variable that we have declared. And from here on, we are doing the case verification. We are saying, okay, if there is a red color, print this value. If there is a yellow, print this value. Now let's see. We will try to run this one. I'll say node switch.js. See, it says invalid color. Now when we saw this one, it was also saying the invalid color. If I change it to yellow, and now if I run, it will say ready to move. So based on the condition, based on the different color that we have provided, it is giving me the default result value. Any question here? We'll see one more program before we move forward. Any other question? If not, I will write one more program and we'll understand more about that in second program then.
Yeah, no question, Robin, as of now.
Okay, all right. So I'm doing what I have written is I have written about the color coding. What in the left right hand side, whatever we have seen that related to the traffic details, same thing we have written here regarding the color. And now we will write the similar way. We'll write one more thing. Now say I'll take the example. Keep me 1 second. Okay. So I will take care as I'll say we have different browser, right? We have Chrome browser. We have okay. Let me take the week days. Let days equal to I'll say Friday. We got the days, and now we know the switch statement. We start with the switch followed by the expression, and inside the expression, what we'll be providing the variable that we have declared. The variable, because with this variable we have to compare. We have to compare like when the day is Friday, result the value, return the value that I wanted to return, wanted to see the output. So I'll say let switch days. And when I say switch days here, we know that after this expression, the switch block of code will start. This code started here. Now from here, we will start getting the case related details. So I'll say case. I will say Monday. Then console.log. Today is Monday. Break. Then I will again say case 2 is nothing but Tuesday. Again, I'll say break. And the case. Wednesday, and then I'll say break again. In this program, we'll see what happens if I don't keep break. You can see after every statement, I'm keeping it as a break. what usually happen when we don't keep break? We'll see that one in this one. Thursday, I'm saying, then I'll say console.log. Today is Thursday, and then break. Case, I'll say Friday. I'll say console.log. Today is Friday, and then break. Case, Saturday. Today is Saturday. Break is Sunday. Console.log. Today is Sunday. Break. Then we have last default. Default will be like else statement. However, we have the else statement inside this if block of code. You'll see there is a else statement. Same way we also have the default statement here. So it's a default console.log, not a valid days of the week. Okay. Now if you see here, what we have seen, we want to validate that there is a day. I have taken one particular day of a week, and that day, that particular day, when I'm iterating through the loops in the sense, when I'm moving forward, I'm validating each and every days, Monday, followed by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In that case, whenever it matches the days that I have provided, wherever it matches, print that particular value. Same thing we are doing. We know that week of the days start from Monday. It is Monday here. I'm saying if it is matching with the days, how do we know, how the case know that it has to compare with which text? Because inside the switch, we are giving the expression as day. Whenever we are giving the switch inside the switch, the expression as a variable, it will see what this variable is storing, what kind of data it is storing. Here it will see there is color, which is a variable. It is storing different color value. It is storing yellow, so it will compare at the yellow case. Here it is saying, okay, this days is storing the console value, storing the value as Friday. Okay, here it will say that this particular days is storing a value called Friday, which is a string value. And when it is storing a value, when it goes inside the switch statement, inside the switch, there is a variable days. This is days. It will start comparing with the value that it is storing. So it will go to Monday and it will compare with Monday to Friday. It is not matching. Again, it will go to Tuesday. Again, it will go to Wednesday. Where it will match at the Friday and it will print the value. We will see this execution. I said switch.js. So it is saying today is Friday. Why? It is matching with Friday value. I will say this one I'll change it to Wednesday. Now it will say today is Wednesday value. Now I'll change this to this day. Now what will happen in this case? Can anyone tell me what is the output now? Let day equal to this day.
Will throw an error. The
Will
last
it
one,
throw
I think.
which one? This one?
Yeah, valid days of the week, not a valid days of the week.
Yeah, so this is not an error. It will say the default statement. It will throw an
Okay.
default statement, not a valid days of the week. This is a default statement. Now, if you see here, I'm writing break after every statement. I'm writing break. I'm writing break here. What if I don't write break? After every statement, if I don't write, I'll say Tuesday. Tuesday. Now, if you see, if I execute this one, what it is doing, it is executing as a Tuesday. So how the executor is performing here, how it is executing actually, what is it is doing. So it is when the executor it start from here, it will go to a variable. It sees there is a variable called days, which is storing some value. The value can be anything, but the executor is saying that, okay, I have got the Tuesday as a value. There is a day as a variable, which is storing a value called Tuesday. Now it will go to the next statement, which is line number 42, and to see the switch statement here. Switch looping concept. Switch is another kind of looping concept or statement. So it will see there is a switch statement. Now when it sees there is a switch statement here, it basically sees the switch and then the variable. Okay, it will say, okay, the variable that I have created in the line number 40 is storing some value, and that value is Tuesday. So till now it is fine here. Switch know that inside the switch expression, now this value become Tuesday. It means it has to compare with Tuesday now. It will go to the case one, and case one, it will see it is telling me to compare with Monday, which is not working, which is not a valid comparison. It is not matching. Monday is not equal to Tuesday. So it will not go inside this loop. You see this colon, it acts as a this particular block of code. So inside if what happened, when this block of code will get executed, when this condition is true, then only it will go inside this one. Same thing happening here. When Monday is true, it will go inside the colon. This is colon inside the console.log. It is not true. It will go to another case. It will say Tuesday, and then it will say there is a break here. It is true. Then it will say today is Tuesday, and then there is a break. What happens? Break is nothing but it is saying to the executor that when you find this particular element, when you find this particular value, this Tuesday value here, if it is working fine, if it is true, post that, break the logic, don't execute anything else. From here only, quit the execution. Don't go to all this thing. Don't check all this thing. Forget about what is written below that. Wherever you find it is matching with the value, wherever you see it is true, stop the execution there itself. Now you can see here, whenever I said Tuesday, what basically executor did, it went there, it found a value as Tuesday, it compared with Monday, it is not a valid comparison, it is not working properly, it did not go inside this console.log. Then it went to the second case where it compared with Tuesday. And here it is saying that Tuesday is equal to Tuesday. Now when Tuesday equal to Tuesday, what it will do, console.log, today is Tuesday, it will break the loop, it will not look into all these cases, and it will print the value. Also be careful. Whenever you are writing a program, whenever you are practicing the program, be careful with the letter that you are providing. If you give small t and if you're comparing with capital T, then it will not work. It will say not a valid date or something like that. I think Lata or someone has got the similar issue where where you are providing the small c as a color and then you are validating with the capital C. So that way it won't work. Whatever you are providing, that should be the same way. Same declaration and initialization should happen. All right. So here, what we have seen, I was given Tuesday. Okay. Now let's see what happened if I don't give the break statement. Here, I did not give the break statement. Now let me print the value. You see what it did? It said today is Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. What is the reason? Now if I don't give the break here, if I don't give break anywhere, see what it is saying. Look at the output. Saying today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday is not printed. Any expectation why it happened this way? Any guess? Okay. So basically what is happening here is, I said sometime back that switch statement will have the variable or expression inside it, and that will compare with the actual variable value. So what is the actual variable value here? Tuesday. First time when it goes to the Monday, it is saying it is not working. It is fading here. So it will go to the another case, Tuesday. And inside the Tuesday, it will say it is working fine. It will print the console.log value, which is today is Tuesday. If you don't provide break, here, it means if you don't tell to the executor that stop here, then what basically it will do? It will compare other cases as well. Whatever the next cases that you see here, console.log, it will print everything without comparing, because it is thinking that in the line number 48, there is a true expression. I'm able to compare Tuesday equal to Tuesday, which is valid. From there on, it will not compare Tuesday equal to Wednesday. It will start printing the value. It will think everything as a true, because it has already found one is true, and it will find everything is true. It will keep on going like that until it find a break or until it find the program is completely closed. So if you don't provide break, it will keep on doing everything, keep on printing the values. So for example, see, it is printing not a valid week as well, enter everything. For example, what happened? Let's assume that there is a car. It is going on a hill terrain or somewhere in the normal road also. It is going with the high speed. But the driver is not aware that the brake is not working. Car will have brake, bike will have brake. So he or she is not aware that brake is not working. Now what happened? Will it stop somewhere? It won't stop unless and until external force is applied on it. What is external force? It will go and hit something. It will go and hit some another vehicle or some wall or some tree. Then only it is going to stop there. Automatically it will not stop. It has to be forcefully stopped in some way. Or if you're going with the bike anywhere, suppose you are going to the grocery store from your bike, what you'll do, you'll go to the grocery store, you'll put a brake, your bike will stop, you'll take the things that whatever you wanted to take from there, and you will come back to home. You have applied a brake, but assume that there is no brake. You do not have any idea like where you have to go. You don't know where you have to go. It's like you left your home with a bike, you went to a grocery store, you took something, and you don't know where you have to go. You just kept on going like that. There is no destination. What will do? You'll keep on going. You don't even know where you have to stop. Same thing is happening here. But if you know that you're moving from your home, you went to a grocery store or you went to a flower shop and you took a flower, from there your next destination is temple or any other places wherever you want to go. For example, after taking the flower, if your next destination is temple, what you will do? You'll go to the flower shop, you'll take flower, you'll put a break. From there, you'll go to temple and you'll put a break and you'll come back. That's the ideal thing you'll do. But if you don't provide the break, if you do not have the destination, if you don't provide the break, what will happen basically? It will keep on running forever. How many lines of code is there after that? It will validate everything and it will print the each and every value, each and every console value after the logic is met properly. Where is the logic? It is on the line number 48, where it is matching with the Tuesday value. It will print this value, and then from here on, if there is no break, it will not compare, because comparison part is already completed in the line number 48. It is able to compare here, and it is able to see that, okay, I am getting the true result. Now, when it is getting the true result, it will not compare after that, because true is already validated. It got the output what it wanted to do. And from there on, it will only print the console statement. Whatever the console statement it will find, it will keep on printing unless a break is applied on that, or the end of the program is completed. There is no more line to execute, then only it will stop. So that is the main reason why we say break statement, why we use break inside a program. Any question here? There is another thing also, break and continue. We'll look into this as well, what happened. But for now, any question on the break?
So one question, Robin. So as you said, like if suppose the let value is Wednesday,
Okay.
and while writing this, we know that till Wednesday we have to write, and it will reflect the value as true or today is Wednesday. So don't we have to write the further syntax? We have to stop there.
This one. See, if
This
you
one.
if you know if you
Mm,
know that I have to only validate these many things, then you'll not
mm,
use the switch statement. You'll use for loop when you know the fixed things that you have to validate. So, for
mm,
example, you have 12 month in a year, right? January to
yeah.
December.
Mm,
Now, if you write the logic here, suppose you have to write the logic. You know that there is 12 month. Some kid come to you and they ask you, what is Tuesday? What is September month called as? Which month it is in the alphabetical order? In numerical value, is it 8th month, 9th month, 10th month? They'll ask you. You'll have to calculate it and you'll have to tell it. Now, do you know that it will only ask you about the September, that you'll only write the logic till September? He might also ask you what is November. He might only ask about what is January. Will it come first or last? Then does that mean that we'll only write the January related logic here?
mm,
No.
no.
Now, when it is Tuesday, what is the actual things we are trying to do here? Validate the days of the week. Now, how many days we have? 7 days we have. Now, if I say there is Tuesday, I have taken the value as Tuesday. It's fine. If I say Tuesday, it will stop here and it will not execute anything from here. When I know that I only have to validate or execute this loop for 2 times, we'll not go with the switch case. We'll go with the for loop. Whenever there is a fixed value, if we have the fixed value, we'll go with the switch case. When we don't have the fixed value, whenever there is fixed value, we'll go with the for loop. When you don't have any fixed value, we don't even know where it will stop. I said Tuesday. Probably it randomly can select Friday. If there is a random selection, if you know that random game, if you take the example of gaming system or example of casino kind of things, what basically it will do, it will generate some random number. You don't know which number it will generate. If anyone is aware of that, okay, it will generate this number, then it is fine. They will win every time. But when you don't know which number it will generate, what you'll do, you'll write the logic, right? Logic has to be written for all the number. If I have to write between 1 to 100, and if you ask me, if Gaurav asks me that Robin, pick one number, do you know which number I'll pick? That you'll stop at that point.
No.
You will write a logic till 10. Do you know that I'll only pick 10? Probably I can pick 99. It means you have to write the logic till 99. So that is why whenever we don't know what actually the value will be, in that case, we will write all the logic and let the executor compare it. Wherever it find the comparison, it will move on from the there on. So don't think that here is Tuesday and then it is, I'll put it as Sunday. Now see, earlier you were saying that till Tuesday, we'll only write till
Mm,
Tuesday and we'll not write this one. Now what will happen? There is another thing also, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now I have to compare the Sunday. It means that I have to write everything here, whatever is there present here. So that's about the switch statement. Yeah, any question?
no, that's it. I got it.
Yeah, okay. If you have any question, guys, ask it, because if you don't ask, then you'll get stuck. You'll not understand. And this will always be running inside your backend. That what will be this, why it is coming this one. In your mind, it will always be running, why it is not coming this one. If you go to the next topic also, still you'll have your mind concentrated here. At what happened there, why it is not working. We are not using much of switch inside the automation. But it's good to know that whenever they ask you these kind of question inside the program, inside the interview, if they ask you, compare all the days and print me the value when the days is returning a Wednesday, you know that there are 7 days, and inside using if also you can do the same thing. There is no issue. Same thing if you'll say if Tuesday, if day equal to Tuesday, today is Tuesday, day equal to Wednesday, Wednesday it is Wednesday, Thursday equal to Thursday, Friday equal to Friday. At last, else you'll say out of the week date, not a valid date, something like that. So whenever they ask you these kind of statement, where you think that I have to compare with the same value multiple time, there is one value that need to be compared with multiple time. Now what you'll do in that case, you can think of a switch as a looping concept. For example, if I have 10 member in my class, There are 10 members with 10 different names. Now I don't know which one, which among them will become a topper. There are 10 number, 1 to 10 member student in my class, and I don't know which among them will become topper. So when I don't know who will be the topper, how can I only write 3 people name or 2 people name? So in that sense, what I have to do, I have to write the logic for all the 10 people. When I write the logic for all the 10 people, then only when the result come and the program execute, it will filter it out. It will say, okay, there are 10 people. Result, when I have to compare with the topper, eighth one is a topper. It will say eighth one is a topper. Second one is ninth one is the second topper. It will say 92nd topper. Fifth one is third topper. It will say fifth is third topper. So in that sense of comparison, we are writing all the value irrespective of where it is becoming true. And whenever it become true, it will break the statement. It will move on. That is why we are using break statement here. Continue statement. There is one more statement called continue. So however we have seen break, there is one more called continue. We'll see it later when we start do while and for loop. There we'll come to know what is continue. But for now, just understand break. There is something called break to stop the execution where the logic is true. When the logic value has already met the condition, it is true, then stop the execution. Don't move forward. If I don't put break, what happens? It is printing every console.log. So that is why the break concept came into picture, and break is nothing but stopping the logic there itself. Any question on the switch statement? You might not get a question saying that what is switch, explain me the switch statement. No, they will not ask you this question. Probably they might ask you what is break. How do you stop the execution? If I have to find something, if there are 10 lines of code, I have to compare all 10 lines of code, and I got an output at the resultant value as 5. At the 5th line, I got my output. So how will you stop the execution so that it will not go to the 6th line? Then you will say there is a keyword called break. If I use the break, it will stop there. It will not put to the next line. Continue also, I could have explained it here, but it will not work in this way. It will work with the while do while loop. So we will see it when we understand about the while and do while. Okay, any question here?
Yes, Robin. A general question not related to this, but a question arises that now we are studying this like step by step we are going to another topic. So as
Yes.
we are learning topics like if else, switch, next we'll understand for loop, while loop, arrays, and everything. So the confusion is in real life, like when we go to the job or office projects, how do we identify when to use which operator or which scenario, which logic we need to use here? Since the real
Okay.
requirement, I don't think it will directly say the question is given and use if else here or use loop here. So how do we understand which logic needs to push or apply here?
Okay. This is a general question. This is the first generic question everyone will have, not only you. Everyone, whoever is learning automation, whoever is learning programming, they will have the first this question, that there are different loops. There is if loop, there is switch loop. Both are working the same way. Which to use? There is for loop, there is do while loop. Whatever for is doing, same thing is doing do while also. Same output can be performed using for and do while. Now the thing comes here is, when you practice on the switch case, when you practice on the different looping concept, you'll get the idea like what it is actually doing. When you say loop, it means that iterating through the different value, right? It means if I have to, if you take the example of this one, this particular detail, what it is saying, we are saying that there is one value to compare that with 3 different value. This is what we are saying. There's a value called blue. Compare with one value. If it is working, then print this value. Same way, when you practice this one, when you understand all the looping concept, and when you go inside the automation framework, when you start writing the automation, based on the different web page, different behavior of the web page, different application, you will get the idea automatically, like where I have to use what kind of statement, what logic should be applied there. Mostly you'll be using for loop inside the playwright. In Selenium, we used to use everything. While, do, while, switch, everything used to be taken care there. We definitely have to write all those things. But inside Playwright, most of the time, I would guarantee you that 98 to 98% of time, you'll use for loop, for off loop, for in loop, three loops, and then remaining 1 to 2% of time, you'll use if statement, if loop. Switch you will not use. Then you might get a question, if I'm not using, why are you explaining me this one? Because this is an interview question. They'll ask you in the interview what is switch. They'll ask you what is break. If you don't tell switch what is break, they will just reject you from there. And then again tomorrow, my student will come and they say that, sir, you did not explain me what is break. They're asking in the interview. So if I don't go in the systematic way, whatever we see in our curriculum, right here, these details they will not ask. They will not even ask you what is if else statement. They'll give you a program to write using if else statement. They will ask you, okay, whatever we have seen there, they will ask you write the score of the student, print the grade of the student based on the different score. Now you know that if there is a grade, it means that student, if there is a marks, student can get different marks. Someone can get 80, someone can get 100, someone can get 50, someone might fail. So here I'll not be able to use switch statement. What I have to basically use here, I have to use the if else statement. If a person got this much marks, he is pass or grade 1. If person got this much marks, he is in grade B. If person got 30 marks, then he or she is fail. So over the period of time, when you start practicing, you'll get the logic, we'll get the understanding of when what to be used. It is not something like first day itself you'll come to know what is happening here and what need to be used. So it will take some time. Don't worry about that, like what is happening.